So glad. Thank you for coming. And I'm so glad to be here with you today. You know that I came from Sudan, that's my country. And Sudan is the largest country in Africa. And Sudan was colonized by the British. And we got our independence in 1956. And when we have independence, the power was left with the northern Arab Muslim. And from there, after the British left, we didn't get along because we have two religions there and we have two cultures there. We have Arab culture, we have African native culture. And we are Christian in South and there's Islam in North. In 1983, the northern government decided to enforce the Islamic Sharia law into the country, making sure every girl in the country need to be circumcised, making sure every woman need to cover their face in the public. Don't wear the pants in the public if you are a woman. If you steal something, you would be asked, what hand did you use? And they will cut it off. If you commit adultery, you will be stoned to death. And my people didn't like that. They said it's not part of our culture, and they rebel against that. And the government said no. And they came and attacked my area. And the attack came to my area while I was in school learning Arabic, which is official language of Sudan, around 10 a.m. At that time, that's where my life changed completely. When the attack came to that school, I was in it. Because our area was accused by sponsoring the rebel. At that 10 a.m., I ran away with other people. I didn't run home because the home was destroyed. I walked with them for 5 days. At that 5 days, one night, we spent a night in the barn of one lady's house. And this group, they left me in that barn at night while I was sleeping because they said I was too young and I might cause trouble, might cry along the way, and they might get in trouble. And that's why they abandoned me. When I wake up in the morning, I find myself alone and I start crying and I walk to this woman. I said, what happened to those guys? She said, they left last night, they left you. And I said, I don't know what to do. And she said, stay here with me. And I did stay with her. I was helping her. I was the one going to the pond to collect the water for her, and she cooked and we eat. I was the one collecting the firewoods. Anything that she wanted me to help, I did. And I stayed with him for 2 weeks, and then the other group came fleeing away from the war. And then she told me that, Salva, you would join this group and go ahead with them. And she gave me the peanuts, and she gave me the gourd with the water in it and said that, take care of yourself, God bless you. And I joined the group. And then I was blessed to meet one of my relatives at that day. My uncle was in that group I met. And I was so happy, and my uncle was taking care of me. While we are walking, we didn't have enough food, and my uncle was the only one that providing enough food because he was a retired soldier and he was using his rifle to shoot the animal, and we were eating that animal. Sometimes there's no animal, and then we feed on the wild berries. And this is how we are taking care of ourselves. While I was walking with my uncle, and I was walking in the heat, and the thorns were goring my feet, and I was always crying. I remember one time my toenails came off because I hit the log of tree, and I was miserable. And my uncle always tell me, Salva, hang in there. You see that tree? That's where we are going to rest, and all this kind of thing. And my uncle really kept my spirit, kept me strong. Until we get to another territory in the tribe called Nuer. And this tribe, they call us and they sit us down, and they came and they called my uncle and they told him to put his gun down. And he put it down, and then they tied him against the tree and they loot anything we have. If you have a nice clothes on, they took it off. After that, they pick up the gun and shot my uncle and they ran. Then we buried him, we spent a night there, and then we continue our journey, going to eastward always when the sun is rising. until I reached to refugee camp. And when I get in refugee camp, they asked me, the UN, their refugee camp was run by the United Nations people, and they asked me, do I have any relative? I said no. And they took me to the orphanage camp. That's where the TAM lost boys come from. And then our number kept growing because the war was still going on, and a lot of them were fleeing, and the rebels were causing trouble there too as well. And then we were moved from the refugee camp to a place called Peñudo, and our number grew up to 17,000 boys. Life wasn't that easy. A lot of things happened, diseases and all this kind of thing were happening in the camp. You know that when people are so many in one place, diseases pop up. And we are losing some of the boys. And then again, the Ethiopians get in their own war, and we were kicked out in Ethiopia. And then we walk along the way, going back to Sudan again. And when we came to Sudan, we got in trouble. The northern government was attacking us right on the border. And then we keep walking to Kenya, and we lost 5,000 boys because of starvation, dying of thirst, and some were eaten by lions and diseases. And our number was 12,000 boys at that time. And when we reached to Kenya, we were taken to a place called Kakuma refugee camp. And the UN was helping us, providing so many things to people, but wasn't enough. Living in refugee camp is not that great at all. It's kind of like being in the prison. You cannot exercise your freedom and you cannot help yourself out, but may give you a daily life. And then what happened in that in Kakuma refugee camp, the native Turkana, they were always coming and loot our food at night. Come with a gunpoint demanding our food. And we decided about 19 boys. We said that there's another camp right on the border of Somalia and Ethiopia is a better camp, and we should go there. And then we walked to that camp called Hifo. When we get there, the life was still the same. It's still refugee camp and all this kind of thing. And was the worst camp too as well. And that camp, that's where I got the opportunity to come to this country. And I was a sponsor here in the United States by Episcopal Church. Coming from the third world country to this advanced country was a shocking thing. Plus cold weather too was difficult issues, and there are a lot of things, but there were people who are always behind me, supporting me to make sure I'm fitting in this culture and help me out. And when I came here, I didn't have much education. I didn't know the culture. Example is like my sponsor took me to the grocery store, and I have eggs, I have other thing and all this kind of thing. And when I brought them home, I put my egg in the frozen section. In the following morning when I get up, they all bust. And I didn't know what to do with that. My mind was not there. I was kind of like a baby in this culture. In order to fit in this culture, you need to act like how the community act too, making sure I'm fitting in order to survive and take care of myself. I went through ESL, English as a second language, and took my GED, went to community college, did my 2-year degree. In 2002, I heard about my father, that my father was ill because of waterborne diseases. And I said I should go and see my father before he died. You know, the love we have between parents and children is very strong. But I didn't have money. But there were people who were helping me a lot in order to get there. And when I get there, and I went to that clinic run by UN, especially UNICEF, I saw my dad, and I walked to him. I said, "My dad, how are you?" He was like, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm Salva." And then he was very emotional, and to get the water, and he sprayed the water on me, a sign of welcoming back from the tomb. That's what it means. And I stayed with him for some weeks. And when he was discharged, the doctor told him that he needed to start drinking clean water. If not, he will get sick again, and he might die. But no clean water in our village. And I said I should do something to help my father and other people who are in the same situation in Sudan. And I came back to this country and formed a nonprofit organization called Water for Sudan in 2004. And did some fundraising in 2004. And 2005, we started drilling the wells, serving tens of thousands of people today. And the good thing about that is when you put the well down, a lot of things happen around the well. You see the children that walk miles and miles a day are not doing that anymore, especially young girls. I would say you girls are lucky to be born in this country, to be a girl in this country. But the girls in Sudan are not that lucky. And for them to have a well there, they would not walk miles and miles again. They would be able to go to school because the well is there, which is really nice. And the diseases they were getting from the bad drinking water, they are not getting that anymore. And you just see the market is thriving around the well. It's awesome, it's beautiful. And you see the clinic is coming in and people are working hard to be able to really help themselves and change things like a well that we drilled 3 years ago. And when I went back, I was amazed for what happened around the well. They built a school, they're doing other things, and the market is there, and things are going well with them. We are really not just providing water. We are building the peace as well. We are helping people to help themselves, and that's all our goal. It's not just me, it's because there were people that were helping me to be someone like that. No one knows the destiny. The day you are born, you don't even know where you're going to end up. But sometimes when bad thing happen to you, that might turn you to good thing, to be able to see good thing sometime. And having a harsh life in my childhood, leaving refugee camp, coming to this one, maybe play another role that changed me to be able to help too, because I was having an idea that the day I came here, I knew that someday I like to go back and help. If I get education, if I get possibility to be in that position that I can help. And it's my pleasure too to take that thing I learned and give that I get, instead of taking it for granted, to give it to other people as well. And I just want to leave you with two things. Make sure that you get opportunity to be part of Water for Sudan, like going to the website waterforsudan.org to be a part of this community. And continue praying for me, please, and making sure this project is going well, and help these people out. Thank you very much for all your support and everything, and I'm so proud for the support I get around the world.